All right, guys, we're back for another video. We got some stuff in, so we're gonna try and get some of this stuff done. Car's still on the lift, and we got a bunch of products in, so let me go ahead and show you what we got. I think in this video, we're gonna try and get this fuel tank cleaned out, get it coated with that Pour 15 tank sealer, and try and get it back in the car. So let me show you what we got. All right, here's a bunch of stuff that came in. So we got a few things for a few different products and projects. I went and bought this Startron enzyme formula fuel tank cleaner. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I haven't seen a lot of people that have used it. It wasn't terribly expensive, but I went ahead and got it. If this other method doesn't work, then we may try and use it. But I just went ahead and bought it just so I had it on hand in case. I do have some other tanks to do. The tank for that blue car back there, that tank's gonna need to get gone through as well. I bought a cheap 3-inch buffer to try and be easier to do polish out headlights. I have a bigger buffer. I have a 6-inch and then I have a really big one over there. Those, they'll work, but they're kind of a pain in the butt to get in there. So I went ahead and bought that so I can do headlights a little bit easier and quicker with those 3-inch buffing wheels. So to clean the tank, we're gonna use this muriatic acid. I got 4 gallons of it. I think we're gonna use 2. That should be enough to get it in there, dilute it a little bit, get it moved around, and coating the tank well enough that it'll eat up anything that's in there and get it poured out. Of course, we got the Pour 15 fuel tank sealer. I ordered it. I didn't pay attention. I got the wrong size. Ordered it again. Got the right size. We'll probably use both. We'll just pour them both in there. Basically, just put that in there, move it around a bunch, let it sit, and let it dry overnight. Actually, I don't even think it says overnight, but I think we'll probably let it dry overnight. And then this big box here, so I ordered this almost a year ago, but this is from Datsport. They're out of Australia. They're kind of my go-to guys for getting all the stuff I need when I rebuild these Datsuns. So it's basically, this is an adapter for the transmission housing so that I can run the shifter for the SR20, and then basically every single seal that I need to completely put that car together. Doors, windows, all the rubber, everything, all in one package. So I ordered all that from Datsport and it finally came in. So I don't mind waiting longer for these guys' product because quite frankly, I think they're the best. I've ran their stuff in all my cars. I've had no issues. So we go with them every single time. And because of COVID and how strict Australia was with their lockdown, it took a long time to get this. I think I ordered it in March, I think early March I ordered it and it just finally came in. Also, there's another part in here. It's this, I haven't unwrapped it yet. So they used to have a cable pedal conversion for the SRs because the Datsun 510 stock pedal is a little bit odd and it wasn't compatible with newer motors. Well, those parts are kind of getting harder to find that they were using for those kits, so they were no longer able to get them. They asked if I wanted to run drive-by-wire. Not a fan of drive-by-wire. I like having a throttle cable in these older cars. I think it's the right look and feel. So they had this prototype that they had told me they were coming out with, where it is a really nice billet aluminum adapter, and it's supposed to be super, super nice. I think this is probably, if not the first one of the first ones they've sold and have out on the market. So they went ahead and hooked me up on it, and we'll get that in the car when we start working on it, and you'll get to see it. I suspect it's gonna be an extremely nice product and worth every cent. So let's go ahead and get this tank out to the front of my property. It's still down here on the floor. We're gonna take it outside, get it rinsed out really good with water, and then get that muriatic acid in it, get that to working, see how many times we need to do that, 1, 2, 3 times, get it poured out. We'll bring it back into the shop and we will get it down next to a heater and maybe stick my heat gun in it and try and get it dried out as much as possible. And then we will fill it with the Pour 15 tank sealer, get that coated around in there real good, and we will let it dry. So let's get it started. All right, so before we took it outside, we went ahead and did another step. This is the sending unit for the fuel gauge for the digital cluster. There's a metal rod that goes in here. We have a few problems with it now that we've taken it apart. One's easy to fix, right? So we had all these solder points came off this rod that runs through there to detect the fuel level. So that's gonna have to get repaired. And since the tank was so bad, I may try to open this up and look inside and just see what it looks like, because it may be gunked up real bad. And hopefully we can get it cleaned up. If not, we'll hit the forums up and we'll find one that's good to use. In all honesty, that may be the easiest option. This, however, can be replaced while the tank is in the car. So we'll try to fix it and get it back in. If it doesn't work at a later date, then we can always come up here. You'll see here's the access hole that's directly above where that sender is. So we can always replace that after the fact. It was kind of a pain in the butt to get out just because of the condition of the trunk, or I'm sorry, not the trunk, the tank. So we worked at it for a little bit, sprayed it down with brake clean real fast to try and clear as much of the rust away and dirt, and then put PB Blaster on it to try and loosen it up, and just kind of worked it back and forth while pulling until eventually it just went ahead and pulled out. You can see how nasty this tank is. I'm gonna grab a flashlight. It's pretty gross, but hopefully we can get it cleaned up pretty decent. So let's go ahead and get it outside and get this cleaning process going. All right, we're back. So it's the next day. We let this sit quite a while. I don't know if you can see it in there, but it's still super nasty. I don't think it's gonna come much cleaner. I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna let this sit while I'm on vacation for a week and see if maybe that cleans it up a little bit. I don't suspect it will. So I'm already in talks with somebody on getting another fuel tank. So if we can get another tank, we'll just go ahead and do that. We're trying to work out the details on getting it shipped here. One guy has a complete tank with everything in it, has a good fuel pump, a good sender, It's like I said, it's a complete tank. That's kind of my best option. I'd rather get that, and I can just pull that out and put my brand new pump in it just to ensure it has a new pump, because we don't want to put it in the car and then find out the pump that it came with doesn't work and have to drop it back out. So I already got a new pump. So if I end up going that route, I'll just put that brand new pump in the tank, and we'll put it in the car. So the other tank I'm looking at is just a bare tank. It has nothing, but we do have our fuel pump housing and we can use that. I do think that sender's probably trash, so we'll have to get another one of those. But either way, we have options. So hopefully we can get this fuel tank sorted out when I get back from vacation. Until then, I do still have a few more things we can do. Let's put these spark plugs in and do the cap and rotor just to say that's done and be done with it. And that way when the tank does come in, or we get this one cleaned up, or whatever works out, we can get this car running. All right, let's get it done. Okay, so on these VG30 motors, these plugs are pretty easy to get to. It's not really that hard. They're just located here. You'll find them at the end of the plug wires, obviously. In these kind of inset gaps, one there, and then where's the other one? Right up here up front, right there. I got one plug out already. I just grabbed this one in the middle. It doesn't look bad, a little dirty. Looks like it was probably running pretty decent when it was still running. So, and they actually don't, they don't look like they were probably that old. They may have been replaced fairly frequently, or at least not long before he parked it. Looks like he had Bosch plugs in it. We're gonna run these NGKs, G-Powers. It's a decent plug. I already have them gapped and they're ready to go in. So let's get the old ones out and get the new ones in. Okay, we got the spark plugs changed out. I didn't film a whole lot of that. I figure most of us know how to do spark plugs. And also, I don't want to fill my channel full of just time lapses of me wrenching on stuff without explaining it. So, on the passenger side, it was, I say extremely easy, it wasn't difficult. You just have one here, here, and here. They came off fairly easy. All of them came out easy. The new ones went back in. They were all gapped properly. And then also, I use this anti-seize here, just a little bit on the threads, so that they'll come out easy next time. You don't want that to become a problem. On this side, you have kind of a mess between vacuum lines, the way the VG30 works with the plenum going this direction and coming out this way, since it has a single turbo and the turbo's on this side. But if you just take your time, you'll get it. There's one here, one right here, and one back here. These two weren't too much of a problem with the tools I had. This one, the only thing that gave me issue was kind of having clearance. So I undid both throttle cables. Well, one's the throttle and one is the cruise control. I undid this bracket to move this main harness out of the way. And then I had easy access through this hole right here. Also, these two pliers came in super handy. These work really good for getting down in there and pulling the boots off and pushing the boots back on. And then these, in case you have to fish anything out, they're these double hinged pliers. I saw these at SEMA one year. I bought them, and man, these are a lifesaver. I love these things. I highly recommend getting a set of these. And I forget who makes them. Yeah, it's kind of worn off. I've had them for a while. Crescent, it looks like. PSX 200C, possibly the part number, tool number. Anyways, these came in real handy. But I undid those, used these, got them out, got the new ones in, fairly easy. Over here, here's all the old plugs, and like I said, they don't look bad. They're just a little dirty. All the electrodes are fully in place, and they were all Bosch plugs, so they're a decent plug. I'm sure they worked fine for them. They probably still would have worked fine, but it's nice to know you just have brand new ones in here. And of course, like I said, I did these NGK G-Power Platinum alloy spark plugs. So now we have this cap rotor. Let's go ahead and get that in. All right, we got the new cap and rotor on. Okay, this process is super simple. 2 screws, Phillips here, one back here. Take those off, take it off. Generally leave the plugs on, the plug wires. That way you can get them oriented back in the right location. I do plan on doing new plug wires. I just haven't got them in yet. And we will number them. So that way, if we ever have to take it on and off, we'll know exactly where they go based on the firing order. The rotor was held on by one 8mm bolt. It was easy to take it off, put the new one on, put the new bolt in. Also, this cap, this Bosch cap, came with new screws because the screws on this other one are retained. You can see here, it's the old one. It doesn't look bad. A little burnt on the leading edge of the rotor, but nothing to be too alarmed about. And then same within here, the contacts, you see them here all the way around. And the center is for the coil. They don't look bad, a little corroded, but overall actually in really good condition. Again, it just kind of tells a story that this car was probably fairly well maintained before it was just parked. All right, guys, we got as far as we could today. We got a little bit closer. We got some of that ignition stuff figured out. We got the plugs in, which is a easy job for anybody to do. We got it out of the way. Hopefully here soon, we can get this tank resolved. It's still cooking in acid. I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference, but we're gonna leave it in there for about a week while I'm on vacation. And then when we get back, I'm gonna try and pressure wash it out and see if that fixes it. If not, we have some other solutions. I've already wrote a guy that has a tank that he might be able to send me, like I said earlier. And if not, we'll just figure it out. There are options. There is a rumor of one of these in the junkyard. And if we have to, we may have to go check it out. But since I'm on vacation, I have another job to do on this that I'm gonna do in the next couple days. I'll film that video and that one will go live while I'm on vacation. That way we're trying to be consistent by posting videos once a week at least. So until then, like, subscribe, share, do all the things. I appreciate the comments and we'll see you guys next time.